y'all, it's Meg here. Welcome to my kitchen. I want to show you this really simple rice recipe that I made when I found out that I had very few ingredients in my pantry during our quarantine time. The things that you'll need is a big pot with a nice sealing lid, a spoon to stir your rice, spatula to get all of your stuff out of your processor. You can use a processor or a blender. We're going to have a liquid measuring cup, 2 or 4 cups, 1 cup, a teaspoon, and a can opener. The few ingredients I had at the time when I made this recipe were chicken broth, oil, a can of diced tomatoes, rice, 4 cloves of garlic, chili powder, and onion powder. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is wash my hands really well. So these were the ingredients that I had on hand in my pantry, but it's really important to know that you can switch them out. Instead of oil, you can use butter for a little more flavor. Instead of chicken broth, you can use vegetable broth to make it vegetarian. I had white rice, but you can also use brown rice. You can mix up the seasoning any way you like. If you like it a little more spicy, or also instead of diced tomatoes, you can use stewed tomatoes, or even fresh tomatoes would be even better. About 4 or 5 fresh tomatoes. So the first thing I'm going to do is open my can of tomatoes, and I'm going to put it in my processor or my blender. I'm also going to put in my spices that I choose, which is the chili powder and the onion powder, teaspoon of each. And I'm going to throw in 2 of my garlic cloves and blend this. I'm going to make sure it's pretty well blended. I think that's good. Then I am going to go ahead and put this in my measuring cup. It will not exactly make 2 cups, so I will go ahead and fill up the rest to make 2 cups with my chicken broth. When you're making rice, usually, some recipes are different, you do 2 cups of liquid for every 1 cup of rice. So we have 2 cups of rice, and we need 4 cups of liquid. So I'm going to measure this out. I'm going to make sure I use my spatula to get all of the little stuff in there. I think that's good. And it comes out to be about 1.5 cups. So I'll fill the rest up with my chicken broth to make 2 cups total. And then I'm going to set this to the side until I'm ready to throw it in my rice. All right, so onto the rice. The first thing I'm going to do, take about 2 tablespoons of my oil and put it in my pot. I'm going to take my 2 remaining garlic cloves, throw those in there, and And 2 cups of your rice. I've already pre-measured. And throw it in the pot. So I'm going to turn it on about medium heat. And I'm just going to stir and make sure the oil coats all of the rice. And I'm going to saute this for about 5 or so minutes until the rice starts browning a little and there is a sort of nutty aroma. Once we get to that stage, then we can add our other ingredients. Okay, so I've been sauteing the rice for about 5 minutes or so. It's got a little bit of brownness to it, and I can smell just a really great aroma coming for it. So this is the time that I'm going to add my liquids. So I'm going to take my tomato mixture that I had processed earlier with the remaining ½ cup of the chicken broth, and I'm going to add it into my rice. Then, since I need 2 more cups of liquid, I am going to add 2 more cups of my chicken broth. And add that as well. Give it a really nice stir. Okay, come in. You see that beautiful red color? I'm going to stir it. Cook it until it starts boiling and then reduce the heat to a simmer and throw on our lid. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes. My rice is done. The liquid is absorbed into the rice, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat. Like I said earlier, this recipe is really fun because you can mix and match any ingredients that suits you and your preference. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I take out these cloves of garlic. You can eat those if you choose to, but I'll set those aside. And this is what your rice should look like when it's all done. And you can enjoy. I hope you enjoyed my video on my quarantine Mexican rice. It's a very easy recipe. You can even have your kids help you. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Now I'm going to have my pickiest child, Viv, taste test my quarantine Mexican rice. What do you think?
It's good.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I hope you enjoy.
This is my mom's quarantine Mexican rice. How will you make yours?
To add your liquid. So this is going to take about 5 minutes or so, and then we have you're going to have to cut this part out. Have a close-up shot of this, Viv. Come over here. Okay, come in. You see that beautiful red color? I'm going to stir it. We're going to cook it on it maybe a couple times with a quick stir. Cut.